And this is how I leave my cut-in paintbrush at the end. I fold it over with the paper towel. I'm going to show you how to do that. This one's all wet now. I just take a little piece of paper towel, fold it in half, flip that over like that. I've got this. This is still pretty wet. I mean, it's slightly wet still, but see how when you get done using it, you get some ends coming out, and you want to try to keep this all together the best you can. I'll trim those afterwards, you know, next time. But for right now, I'm just going to take it, bring it over a little bit. And fold it, just fold it over. Keep it tight, and then you'll be able to feel what the angle is. The angle to the dangle. Right there. Okay. Tap on that. See, it's pretty much getting dry, but when it's slightly wet, it'll contour this, because this one's wet, and I wanted to take it off and show you. See, it's wet a little bit. And then I just leave it like that and let it dry. See, here's my other one, my 2.5 inch. Same thing. I'm just gonna let that dry like that. This one's already dry. Okay? And that's how I leave those. Then when I get ready to use them, I'll pull it out. This one's already dry. And you see all the stragglers up in here. You may think, what's the big deal? When you get the paint on there, some of those will push down. Yes, some will, but not all of them. And so I'll spend some time with my carpet scissors, catch it, push it all the way down, and trim it. You know, and I'll spend some time on that because I don't like stragglers like that. That's not good when you're trying to cut something in, especially when those stragglers get a little bit of paint on there. It throws your eye off. Some of that paint on those stragglers get on every other things that you don't want it on, and you think, son of a gun, Joe's right. I should trim those off. And get some carpet scissors. These things work so good. I use these for all kinds of things. I cut off tags on washcloths, towels, bath towels, pillows, you know, that you're going to put on the couch, tags, any kind of tags, carpet, stragglers, you know, next to door frames and transitions between carpet and tile floors and stuff. Anytime you see something, trim it off. But before I trim it off, I'll see if it's something that I can crazy glue down first, you know, because if you have Berber carpet, and if you cut off a piece, now you've got a slight little hole there that you can't cover anymore. So lots of times before I trim anything, I'll look and put a little bit of crazy glue gel in there, take a screwdriver, take the piece, fold it back down in there, press it in there with my screwdriver tip, and then before I pull the tip out, I'll count maybe to 50, and then I'll twist the screwdriver to get it loose off of the glue and then pull it out. If you try to pull it straight out, sometimes the tip of your screwdriver's got glue on it, and you pull the thing right back out, you know. But yes, I love these things. They work for all kinds of things, okay? Get some of those at the store. And, you know, I thought I was done cutting in baseboards. I got everything cut in down here in the baseboards. I got this cut in up in here and up against the cabinet. Didn't that look good? I did that all with that little cut-in paintbrush. Got everything, except there's one room that I didn't do. And I didn't do this room for a reason, because these walls in here, I decided to go with semi-gloss paint, and I got a semi-gloss ceiling in here. Before you start painting, you want to talk it over with whoever else you're living with, your significant other, your partner, whoever, and think, okay, in which rooms do we want flat ceiling paint for the ceilings? Which rooms do we want semi-gloss? Now, we went semi-gloss in this room on this ceiling because this is where our cat, we're going to have a cat, and we've got a little cat door right here. We're going to put our potty box in here. And in case we want to wipe the walls down and stuff like that, we can do that. So I put semi-gloss on the ceiling, and I decided to put semi-gloss on these walls instead of eggshell. I got it 1 gallon of semi-gloss paint because the bathrooms upstairs, where the showers are, where the bathtubs are, I'm going to semi-gloss on walls on that. But everywhere else, I did eggshell. And I even did eggshell in this bathroom down here. That's because it's just a half bath. There's only going to be a toilet and a sink here, pedestal sink here. Okay, and so I decided, hey, I'm just going to put eggshell on these walls because there's not going to be any real steam in this room. So, you know, I had to write all this stuff down because even after we talked about it, we changed some of the things. And so then I have to go back to my tablet and read, okay, which walls go which. And if you do something like that, you got to make sure that you know what you're doing. You don't want to just take your eggshell paint and start cutting in all your walls up next to your ceiling, down next to your baseboards, on the inside of your walls, and then think, oh shoot, I just messed up because that's semi-gloss paint, not eggshell paint. And you know, so just think about it before you do it. So I want to use my 2-inch. I want to use my 2-inch on that. I decided, I don't really use this. I'm not really going to use this for cut-in that much more anymore. I used to use this for cut-in for everything. But I'm getting better control with this 2-inch, and I've done the entire condo. The ceilings, cutting in the ceilings, cutting in the door, you know, installing the door, painting the door frames, cutting in the trim, the door casings, the baseboard, painting the baseboard, painting the door jambs and the trim, all with this 2-inch paintbrush. So I'm going to finish off this job painting that room with the 2-inch paintbrush, but I have to let this dry. So if there's any sun in here, look at this. Here's a little bit of sun right here. Yes, the sun's going to move eventually. And I could take this and put it out on the deck or something. This'll help dry it that much quicker, or I could put it out in the sun, out in there, or whatever. And you know, next time I get ready to do a paint job, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy another one of these. That way I've got 2 of them. That way, when I get done with one, and if I'm dipping into another paint bucket with a different color, then I've got another paintbrush and I don't have to wait for it to dry. Okay, because I've got another one. And the other thing, when I cut in everything and I've got it and I'm using it out of the paint tray and stuff, there's only so many hours you can do that, especially with eggshell. All the walls are eggshell. All the baseboards are semi-gloss. When you're using semi-gloss paint or eggshell, and when you're cutting in or painting the baseboards or whatever, you can only use that paint for so long before it starts skinning, before the top layer starts skinning up and it starts getting thick. And then it starts getting thick on your paintbrush, and it starts building up your paintbrush, and then you get some feelers with different with the paint on there, and it's not you're not being able to cut in properly. Then you've got to put your paint away, mix it up again. See, this started skinning up. I put that back in there. You could mix it up again, pour it back in there, and if you have a second paintbrush, you can clean that paintbrush out, let it dry, and use your other paintbrush, and away you go. You can keep going. See? And when these things get full, you'll see that it's hard to get all the paint out of your bristles. Now, but I did a really good job. How did I do that? I'm just gonna go up here. Hope you're still watching this. These are tips for you to be a better painter, for you to know how to do things better, okay? So just bear with me here. We're going into the bathroom where I've been washing out the paintbrushes. I don't have a light in here. I took that out because I thought we were gonna paint these ceilings and these walls before we moved in, but I can do this after we move in. Okay, these ceilings I'm gonna end up painting white semi-gloss paint, and then I'm gonna paint the walls with not the eggshell gray, but the semi-gloss gray, because there's steam in here for the bathtub, for the shower and all that. Okay, so what do I use here? I'm gonna get these out into the light. Okay. I just use my cleaning brushes, my steel cleaning brushes, okay? That's all I'm using, not bristle brushes. This is the steel, and you see, it's wired. And I just take that and clean the paint out and get most of the paint out. It works really good to get all that stubborn paint out of there, because if you don't do that, eventually you're gonna use your paintbrush 3 or 4 times. You're gonna think, I gotta throw this away. This paintbrush is building up too much paint in there and I don't know how to clean it out. You know, they actually have a comb with feelers on it there that you can get at a paint store and put it in there and clean it that way. And then they also have something where on the end of your handle, if you have a long handle paintbrush, you stick it on there and it sticks on, and you push it, and this thing spins your paintbrush and gets most of the water out and gets it drier so you can use it quicker. That thing works pretty good. You kind of push on it and it zips, kind of like that. I don't have one of those. I just let it dry naturally. But you know, because you're starting to do all these things on your own, now you've got some money that instead of paying somebody else every single time you paint, you're just going to pay yourself. Save that money, and you can start buying and adding tools to your arsenal, okay? Well, that's it for now. So man, I've got to wait for this paintbrush to get dry, and look, it's not even in the sun anymore. The sun's already moved. I think I'm going to stick that out on the deck for a while in the corner and try to get this dry as I can. You don't really want to use too wet of a paintbrush before dipping it into paint again, you know? So I don't know where the sun's gonna stay the longest. Maybe right in there. Ah, look at that. Oh, here comes some geese, Canadian geese. Here they go. Whoa. Beauty. That's why we got this condo right here by the river. Okay, so while that's drying, hey, always think about what you can do. You know, hey, what can I do? I don't really want to use this for cut-in, so I'm not going to use that. Okay, but there's other things I can do. I've got on the flat ceiling, there's some areas up here that can be repainted. I've caulked a line here where there was a tight crack next to the 45-degree corner bead that they put up there. There's a mark up there on the ceiling, way up there, that I could get with that 2.5-inch paintbrush. I could do that with the 2.5-inch paintbrush, right? I could do that. And then there's some other areas on the white. They took a king mattress up here, and when you've got something like this, especially with a ceiling in there, they should have built that up a little bit higher. My word, it took 3 of us to push that mattress, California King mattress pad up there, and they actually had to bend the bottom of it just a little bit, or they wouldn't be able to get it up there. So they scratched the ceiling up there. See where there's some marks there? And then they gouged it up in here a couple different places. Well, I already caulked that, and I've already touch that up with paint. But see, I can go around with my 2.5-inch paintbrush on the white ceilings, or I could take a throwaway paintbrush. A 2-inch paintbrush will work. Or my 3-inch, not this one, but I got a 3-inch throwaway paintbrush that I could use. Not this one, but another one. I use this just to clean up paint trays and buckets and stuff like that, and a broom and stuff. I don't throw them away, I just save them. And so I could use one of those if I wanted to. I could do, what else could I do? There's always something else you can do while you're waiting for something. I could put cover plates on. I can adjust light switches. There's different light switches. When I took the cover plates off, some of these are not lined up right. See this one here? It's kind of tilted out this way, out like that. This one's straight. This one's kind of slightly off to the right, and this one's tilted. I can turn the power off and then undo the screws, bend that to the left. I like to get it so when the cover plate's on there, everything's nice and straight. You know, I can check those, and I can do that while the paintbrush is drying. There's just different things I can do, and you know, we're going to be moving in here in a short while. Another thing I need to do is I need to Mommy, she wants it to be so she can get her car in here in a couple of days. Yeah.